I missed out a little bit. I'm back. And so a couple of things went on this week, man, kind of disturbed me and helped me realize that this is only the beginning of where I'm trying to go. So it's a song called Grateful, man. And I'm so grateful from where I've been and where I came through. And I'm talking about all of it. I ain't just talking about the prison. I ain't just talking about addiction. I ain't just talking about having money. I ain't talking about being broke. I'm talking about each and every moment of it. And it's a point in your life when you have a realization that it is only by the grace of God that you are where you are. And it's really awesome to know that God has never changed. He has always been standing in the midst. And it don't matter how many ways you go opposite of what he has for you. It doesn't mean no matter how much you try to do what you want to do. None of that matters when you know God and he has instilled something in you and a fire lights every time you notice him. You notice the greatness of God when those little bitty things that you even never fathomed was good, and they are great, and he does them on time. And I had a pretty rough week, man. Last week, my buddy died, man, David. And it's just amazing to me because his sister reached out to me and asked me to speak at his funeral. And I'm in a transition center, but I'm going to do whatever I can to speak and reach out because it gives me a joy because God will put you in some places that you don't even understand why you're there. It won't even make sense, the reason that you have made it to where you are, and he'll lift you up and cover you in his blood, and nothing will arrive at a point where it can take you away. And today I'm going to read a verse. It's 2 verses in Titus. And Titus was one of Saul's turned to Paul, one of his greatest friends. And he studied under him. And he wrote to Titus in Crete because Crete was a country where everybody was taking Jesus' death and mocking it and preaching false doctrine and things of that nature. And Titus was assigned on an assignment to go there. So while Titus was assigned on an assignment to go there, he was there in all faith. And it's 2 verses that really stood out to me. And as we go through this study, we've been doing this study for I think about 9 weeks. But as we go through this study, the more we go through this study, the more we go through it, the more we go through it. It's something I learn every day. And we're on the 3rd chapter. It's only 3 chapters. And we're in the 3rd chapter. And as I was doing my study on it, the guy who was speaking today, he leaned down, and I was doing my study and I was writing my notes down, but I was paying attention to what he said. And as he's telling me to read one verse, the guy sitting next to me is passing me a paper, asking me to speak on another verse. Asking me to speak on another verse. So I'm thinking, okay, so as he's asking me, I'm like, golly, he hands me the paper and says, you need to find a verse. The paper right here. He says, find a verse in Titus that you can speak about. And it'll be the 1st week or 2nd week of March, first and foremost. 3/3 is my brother's birthday, March 3rd. That would be amazing. So I looked and I was like, God, I'm studying chapter 3. So 3:3. So today I'm gonna give you a little top end of what Titus 3:3 speaks about. And the great part about it is that it's only 3 chapters in here. It's only 3 chapters. So in the 3rd chapter of Titus, he says, and I titled it, my buddy said today, he said, some people like to hear titles, so I'm gonna give you a title. And the title is To Move Forward in the Kingdom. Our class is named Advancing the Kingdom. So to advance in anything, it takes a little bit of time and a little bit of promotion and a little bit of hard work. And you advance or you excel more and more and more. So when you're in, I gotta get my chair, but so you excel more and more. So Paul wrote Titus, and what he's telling Titus is, he's telling Titus that these people are really, really showing out. So I need for you to speak to them in this way. So me not being a pastor, I need you to know that I'm not a pastor. What I do is for people to push you in a new way of life and a new mind frame, because I'm only just a man. I fall short daily. I lose myself a lot on a daily basis. Sometimes I go in my room and cuss words just fly out of my mouth because I forget what's inside me. And when what's inside me is not showing outside of me, I get away from who I know I am. So this is a reason why I stick to the word. I'm not a pastor. I am motivated. I'm a hype man for Jesus Christ because I know who brought me. I know who saved me. I know when it came time for me to face everything I had to face in life, it was only covered by the blood of Jesus, man. It's only Jesus. The Yeshua. Yes, the true God. The true Jesus, man. And they're the same. Don't get it confused. We'll talk about that one day. But I want to read this verse because it set my heart on fire. And what it did, it says, Titus 3:3. Titus is only, if you want to read a book in the Bible and you don't got a lot of time and you're rushing and you don't read a lot, Titus is only 3 chapters. It's like the second shortest book in the Bible. Philemon is the shortest, I believe. And it's in the New Testament. But what he says right here, he says, for we, he's speaking, he wrote this letter to Titus and said, for we. So even though Titus is out here and Paul is somewhere else, the letter made it to him and he still said we, because just like all you, whoever's listening right now, it's we. It's not about me. I'm just telling you from what I got from this, and then you can read it yourself and see what you get. But it says, for we ourselves were also once foolish, disobedient, deceived, serving various lusts and pleasures, living in malice and envy, hateful, and hating one another. Now check this out. It was so much right there that it just flew by you. You missed it because it might have made sense to you and you don't even understand how much sense it made. Let me help you understand. He says, for we ourselves, Paul was a high-ranking official, went out and got blessed, and because he was killing Christians. And this is what he's writing now. He said, we ourselves were also once foolish. I don't know about you. Now, you might not ain't never been foolish. You might not ain't never made a bad decision. You might not ain't never did nothing wrong. You might ain't fell short. You might, but I have. And the title of this, what I put on the thing was, I'm talking about me. So if you feel like, well, if you feel hit, then take the shot. But I'm telling you, I've been foolish all my life. It's still inside me. Foolishness exists amongst the flesh because that's what it says. He says right here, for we ourselves were also once foolish. Foolish till now. And then it says, what's up, my boy? And then it says disobedient. Now, if I step on a toe or you feel hit or something is retarded to you and you be like, man, he talking crazy again. I might be. Look, it's an empty chair back there. If you don't listen, they gonna listen. So what I'm telling you, you might have been foolish. I might be foolish right now, standing in front of a sick, empty chair. But one of these days, Somebody gonna be out there. Or either I'm gonna be out there and somebody gonna be up here talking to me. So we once were foolish. Disobedient is the next word to use. Disobedient. When you think of disobedience, you think of dishonor, loss of loyalty, failure somewhere, going against the grain, doing what is opposite of the obedience. You might not fall in that line because I know I do. That's somewhere I'm at. You on the buy right there. Then he says, deceived, serving various lusts. Now, I don't know about you, but listen here. Women are a great creation. And sometimes we as men find ourselves lusting after. What's up? Lusting after everything, not just women. Not just women, but everything. Stuff, cars, trucks, clothes, the yard, your job, money. The lust category is ginormous. You know what I'm saying? It's ginormous. So now remember all this stuff I'm saying, he says we ourselves once were. It's what we were. Follow me now. And lust and pleasures, living in malice and envy. Malice and envy. Those are horrible words because malice is intentionally creating a dishonor. And it still abides in you and it's in us. And the envies. And then it says, oh my God, it says hateful and hating one another. Now, how about this? I don't know if you got road rage. I don't know if you just like talking about people. I know I crack a few jokes. Sometimes they say I be trolling. I don't know exactly what category. When Paul wrote it, he gave all the categories. He said hateful and hating one another. So hateful is inside of you somewhere. You can say you good, but if somebody cross you, you can get it just as hateful as you want to be. And then it says hating one another. So the reason why I'm reading this scripture is because I found myself in a situation this week. Somebody called up here to the center and said that I was harassing a female friend of mine. And he said that I was the individual who was stalking his friend. So he called up here and tried to get me in trouble. And, well, as you see, it failed. But the thing is, when I write to people, anything I reach out to, whether it be fleshly, spiritually, or something else, I find myself falling short daily. And whether I wrote something inappropriate or I wrote something with great spiritual belief behind it, some people are going to change every way they can and twist anything they can about you, because when you stand as a person, when you're standing as a person, and you feed people information and you try to motivate people, the people who are hateful or have hate in them or hating one another, it's something inside of them. And I find myself doing it because I do it to NBA players, and I find myself slightly hating against what they have going on. Like LeBron James, I'm a LeBron James hater. And it's not really serious, but I kind of hate, you know what I'm saying? I got issues with certain stuff that I know about. So it's inside of us as people. So this is where life changes. And I'm going to freeze right there and give you an example to catch you up to what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, this makes so much sense. It was a guy that was on the way to work. And on the way to work, his tire, he told his boss, he said, man, I'm going to be late for work, man. And when he got to work, he was real late. And he got to work. And his boss said, well, why were you 2 hours late? He said, man, I got hit by a truck, man. He said, you got hit by a truck? He said, man, I got hit by a truck, man. An 18-wheeler, man. Big old truck hit me. And it knocked me over. So the guy said, so tell me what happened. He said, I got this story from somebody. He said, I was on the way to work, and My tire had a flat. So as I was changing the tire, one of the nuts rolled off into the street. And as I went to the street to pick the nut up, when I picked the nut up, what fell, I looked up and an 18-wheeler smacked me right there. And his boss looked at him and he said, "Where are the wounds?" The reason why I'm saying this is because Paul said that we ourselves were also once foolish, disobedient, deceiving, service, various lusts and pleasures, living in malice, envy, hateful, or hating. Now, out of all that stuff, if none of that has changed, if none of the stuff has changed, or there's no conviction inside of you, then there's no way you got hit by a truck, and there's no way your faith is in God, and there's no way that you have the love of God in your heart if all these things still exist. It's not possible. It's not possible. I found myself in a situation where any other time I would have reacted different, but I didn't, because I am not who I was. I have nothing to prove to anyone on the other side of my life, in my messages, in the church, out here in the street, at my job. It is nothing that I have to prove. And until you get on that side of your faith and who you are, and know that you don't have anything to prove to anyone, you must know that you cannot do anything to be seen, to see God. You can't, oh, boy, I see God, boy. Oh, yeah, I see God. Bro, he is amongst you. What you need to do is to make it so God sees you. He has to see you make it through those little bitty errors in life where you fall short at. Those little bitty lies that you tell. The shortcomings that you don't pass through. Whether you got addictions, where you say, "I'm going to quit drinking last month and ain't quit drinking yet." Or you addicted to pornography, or you still cuss a lot, or you always late for work because you really don't care about your job, or your family is bull crap and you don't want to tell them, but you keep existing in them, acting as if you love them. Whatever the issue is, it's some overcoming that has to be done. There's no way that you can come to work 2 hours late if you got hit by a truck, because your brains would be splattered all over the place. You would be in pieces. You couldn't have made it to work. So there's no way that you have come in contact with God and know the power he has done inside of you, and nothing's changed. Something had to change, bro. There has to be a difference. Something has to shift in your life, man. And I saw it today because I saw God move in my life today. And I got a conviction in my heart because it's a special person in my life, bro. And I would never, ever, ever try to hurt anybody. And we've been more than friends for a while, bro. And it's like, but I still have a divorce that I'm going through. And I still have a focus that doesn't concern anybody but me and God. And I need God to understand that I'm all in. I'm all in. And my flesh has to die daily, bro. It has to die daily. And I need God to do what he has purposed in my life to do. And if it's any kind of disobedience, any kind of actions, anything that comes in harm's way, I must be able to stand against it. Whether it be pornography, whether it be unmerited sex, or whatever it be, I have to be able to stand accountable for it. And you, by listening to any of this right here, has put you on forewarning to help you understand that you know, as being witnessed to, that it's something inside you that's keeping you from the blessing that God has on your mind, on your heart. And those things are what you got to work on. Those things that you're working on is when God sees you, because he knows what you've overcome. God knows what you have overcome. I overcome drugs, cigarettes, liquor, manipulation, crazy music, drug dealing, gambling. I don't overcome all that stuff. But the stuff what I overcome ain't what God need me to get rid of, because I done overcome it. The stuff what worries you at night, or the issues in your heart that's flowing from your heart, that's something, that thing what's blocking you or making you miss your blessing. Hey, she talking about she made it. The thing what blocks your blessing is the thing that you need to get rid of. And it's really difficult to get rid of something that you really, really love to hold on to, but you got to. And I need you to understand that anything that God has purposed in your life, anything, my God, anything that God has willed for your life, no matter where it goes, he will bring it back. And when he brings it back, it will be so. It will be so precious. You have to be broken. You have to be broken. You have to be broken, bro. If you plant a seed, you have to dig the ground, plant the seed, and cover the ground. So that means the ground gets disturbed. The plant gets disturbed, the seed gets disturbed, and it's planted and doesn't see light. The plant has to be put in a hole and doesn't get to see light. But you don't see. And then God nourishes it and rains on it and blesses it, and then it sprouts. It sprouts. And when I tell you it sprouts, a plant comes and it grows. And this is where you have to understand your growth begins. I don't know what hole you've planted in. I don't know what darkness you're dealing with. I don't know if you feel as if your faith ain't enough faith. I don't know how short you think you have come. But I do know that the work that's working inside you, the work that he's doing for you, is only by his precious love. He does not break you and take you away and move things and make people dislike you. He does not put you away and tuck you away and let his hands go because he doesn't believe you'll make it. He does it because he knows that your love for him is so much stronger than what you think you need. He has your heart. Continue in whatever you're praying for. Anything you're praying for, please continue in it. Don't give up. Because 4 years and 2 months ago, man, I always tell people, man, when I was you got to meet me in the police car, bro. You have to meet me in the police car, bro. Because when I was in the back of that police car, I was broken. I was damaged. I had a stroke. I was beat down. And I wasn't even doing drugs, bro. But my life was threatened. And I was the one who was killing myself. And I ain't committed suicide. I ain't done none of that. But I was in a bad way, bro. I wasn't doing drugs. I wasn't doing nothing. But my health wasn't great. And I lost my weight. And even though I wasn't dealing or wasn't selling or wasn't doing nothing, God said, that ain't enough. That ain't enough. I need all of your attention, bro. So, I'm just so thankful, man. I'm so thankful. Because his goodness and love and kindness, he came as a savior, man. He came to save our soul. lead us back to righteousness. Not forget where we came from, but yet carry on in despite of all the things that gonna come back to try to hunt you. All the people who knew who you were, or the people who you tricked, or you finessed, or you lied to, or you cheated, or the people who you didn't even deal with, and then they only heard of you, or your family members, somebody in your family who you really done really wrong, or they done you really wrong. God will bring them back to face you. He did it with Joseph in Genesis. He did it with everybody that meant anybody, anything. Bro, I promise you, God will put that thing back together, man, like it never broke. When you see a tree outside, you see the tree. You don't know what that tree goes through. When you see a plant, you don't know what it been through, the hardships it's been through. You look outside right now, you see a tree, the wind's blowing, and the tree's leaning. My God, my God. You're not a tree. That's the great part. We go through way more. But look at you now. Look at you now, man. My God. My God. I'm so thankful. I love y'all, man. And whatever you do, man, make sure you edify the body of Christ, man. You are. Don't let your preacher tell you how you do it. Because there's something inside you that is only for the edification of Christ. Whether it's one person or 1 million, bro. Tell somebody you love, hug their neck, and let them know God is always right and you always wrong. In that case. Well, I love you, man. And y'all don't forget where your heart lies. You know what I'm saying? And with that being said, good God Almighty, thank you. And you're welcome, bro. I love you.